What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about the Greek alphabet, and no, I don't mean like alphabet again. No, I'm not about to teach you all that, because there are plenty of videos that you can look for to have information regarding that. And there's also this thing called Google. You can just Google search the alphabet. It's not that hard. However, what I'm going to talk about is common terms that you may have heard people saying and you just probably don't know what they mean, or you googled it and you still can't quite get the concept down. So I'm gonna go over all those terms. I'm gonna try to do as many as possible. However, I want you to know that it was hard to try to find terms for certain letters, because certain things is just like certain letters don't get any play. So I'm gonna do the alphabet as best as I can and we'll go from there. All right, so the very first word that I'm going to start off with is alpha. And of course, I'm starting with alpha because all things start with alpha. Alpha is the first letter of the alphabet. And then also, you know, you have alpha phi alpha and then alpha kappa alpha, of course. So why would I not start with the very first letter of the alphabet? Period. So the actual first word that you probably have heard but you're not familiar with the actual meaning of it is active. So active means that it's a member of the organization and they are actually participating in things that are going on. They are in a graduate chapter or they're in an undergraduate chapter. They actually have financial cards. So they are active members and they are actively participating in an organization. So the next word is going to be ace. So the ace is typically either the shortest person or they're the person that the prophytes felt was the strongest to lead the group. They are basically, they kind of set the pace because they are at the front of the line and they hold it down from the front. So the ace is that person that's, you know, at the front. They're the first person. It's the ace of the line. B is gonna be for brother or bruh. Most of the times it's what you're gonna hear the frats refer to themselves as. You know, they'll say that's my bro, my brother, whatever, your line brother. So that's just, it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that crossed with you at the same time. However, it is somebody that's in your organization. They, you know, you're cool with them, they're your bro. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's very simple. Bro, brother, they in the same organization, cross together, whatever. That leads me to my next word. C is for crossed. When we say cross, that means that's when you actually became a member of your organization. So I crossed in spring 2013. So I crossed over into Greekdom in the spring of 2013, in April to be specific. So everyone has their crossing seasons. Typically you'll have fall or spring lines. Sometimes there are summer lines, but it's kind of rare. But in most instances, it is the fall or the spring. So if you hear cross, that just means when the person was initiated into their organization. C can also stand for chapter. The chapter is where the person or where the organization exists. So each chapter will have a different name. Typically in undergraduate chapters, they are named based off of like, they'll have letters. So it'll be like alpha beta or beta gamma. So it'll be typically 2 letters from what I've seen. But some of the graduate chapters will have either Greek alphabet letters as well, or they'll be like the Houston area alumni or chapter or something like that. So the chapter is just basically where a certain group of people operate in the name of that organization. Club is basically somebody that crossed. Either it can be in your organization or it doesn't have to be in your organization. It can be in a different org. But club is just somebody that has the same number as you. So for example, I'm a member of the quad club because I am the 4th person on my line. So anybody that's the 4th person on their line, they will be a part of my club. So you also have like the ace club, you have the deuce club, you have the trade club, you know, you have the live 5 club. So everybody has like their own club or whatever. So any number has a club and any position has a club too. So there are a lot of different clubs, and yeah, so that's what that means. Club is just you have that same number or position in your line in common with another person. And sometimes people do have 2 clubs. So let's say the ace, if they were a solo line, so there'll be solo club, there'll be ace club, there'll be tail club, there could be rock club. Like, it can be a lot of different things. The tail club can be the 2, it can be a deuce club, there can be a tail club, there can be a rock club. Like, I mean, it varies. All right, so D is gonna be for deltas. I'm not gonna be petty and leave any Greek letter org out of what they're called. So typically we shorten delta, sigma, theta down to just deltas. So if we're referring to deltas, they'll either be deltas or the reds or something like that. But you know, typically we say deltas. D is also gonna be for dues, which is something that I don't like paying, but I still have to do so. So if you wanna be a financial active member, you have to pay dues. And the dues are voted upon by your chapter, and they incorporate, you know, like if you need to pay for meeting space, if your chapter wants to have food at the meeting, sometimes they'll do that. They have budgets, like we have to pay back to like a foundation. So there are different things within your chapter budget that'll make up your dues. So in order to be financial, you have to pay these dues every year. And if you don't pay the dues, then you're not a financial member. And if you don't pay the dues and you're not a financial member, then you can't be active. See how all that ties back together? So D also stands for dropping line. So a lot of people say that, or you may hear the term such and such drop line, or I was gonna do this and that, but I dropped. So basically what that means is the person got to whatever point on their process, they got to this point and then they just decided for whatever reason, either this isn't for me, or the line got dropped, or something happened and they just weren't able to complete the process. So that's basically what drop line means, that you were in interest. You're still technically in interest if you didn't cross or whatever, unless you don't have interest anymore. But something happened to where they couldn't complete their process. So the line was dropped, or they dropped line or something of that sort. And lastly, D is gonna be for Divine Nine. So the National Panhellenic Council, which houses all of the different Black Greek letter organizations, our house is called we are under the umbrella of the National Panhellenic Council, also referred to as the Divine Nine. So that's what that means. It's all 9 of the different organizations put together in this one council that kind of oversees everything on the back end, if that makes sense. So E is gonna stand for, and this kind of, I had to reach for this one. So E is gonna stand for expelled, which is what some members get when they do certain things. So let's say they get in trouble for hazing, they get in trouble for not having the best grades academically, you can get expelled. Or if they just do something completely off the wall, you can get expelled. So being expelled just basically means that all of your privileges to this organization are gone. You will never be a member of that organization ever again. E also stands for expansion. So if someone is interested in bringing a chapter of this organization onto a campus or into a region that does not have that organization, it will be considered an expansion, because we are technically expanding the organization. So it'll be an expansion. I hope that makes sense. Lord, please bear with me, y'all. So for F, we're back at the money thing. Financial means that you are a member again who has paid your dues. So if you paid your dues, you can go around saying that you're financial, and guess what? You're active. So yeah, financial members are able to be in the chapter. They're able to vote. They're able to, you know, pretty much do anything, enjoy every perk that comes along with being a member of your respective organization, because you are financial, you have paid your dues. Simple as that. F also stands for frat, which can be short for fraternity. For example, if I was to see an alpha out, I can say, you know, what's up frat, or what's up fam, you know, whatever. Granted, we'll spell it P-H-R-A-T instead of F-R-A-T, but I mean, the meaning is still the same. Frat, it's kind of like another term for bro or brother. So the last F word is gonna be, wow. So the last F word, I guess I'll say it again, is gonna be Founders Day. So Founders Day was the day that the organization was created. So for example, my Founders Day is January 15, 1908. Every organization has their own Founders Day, and we do celebrate our Founders Days on those respective days. Typically, sometimes we actually have like the whole week. Sometimes we do the whole month. I mean, it varies. Founders Day is one of the best days of the year for each Greek org. I mean, we all have fun. That's the day when you really wild out, because it's like, you know, my founders, they would do the same thing if they were here. So yeah, that's Founders Day is lit. So G is for Greek, and Greek can be any organization. It's not limited to NPHC. It can be NPC. It can be NPC. It's not just reserved for us. It's any Greek organization. So that's pretty much, you know, or if you want to go further in detail, Do your Googles. It'll get you right. H is for hand signs. So as you know, AKAs have the pinky hand sign. So we typically just do this. We also have the IV, which is like so, or they do it out this way as well. You know, we all have our own hand sign that we do. So when we're taking pictures or something of that sort, we do that. We'll put our hand signs in strolls and things like that. So we all have our respective hand signs, and it's just a way of showing that you're in this organization. Yeah, in a lot of cases, they're not official, but ours are now. So I is gonna be for IOTA, and they were the last to be added to the NPHC. So yeah, I is also for interest. So an interest is somebody that's interested in the organization. So they are wanting to become a member, but kind of before you actually become a member, you have to show interest. They are the ones that are in the process of crossing. We've all been interested before. If you're in a Greek organization, you had to start somewhere. Like, we all have been there before. So don't be like shocked or something of that sort. Like we've all been interested before. So I mean, it's nothing. You'll get through your, if it's meant for you, you'll get through your process. So informational, and informational is basically where you go when you're still in your interest phase and you're looking to find out more information regarding the organization. Like if you wanted to get some, you know, behind the scenes stuff that's you probably won't necessarily find online. Like most of it you may find online, but they might drop some gems in the informational. So the informational is just a session either on your campus or somewhere where you can find information, you know, from an actual member who kind of, it'll probably be like a seminar where they'll actually just talk and give some detailed background about, you know, what the organization is, where it started, all that good stuff, you know. So that's an informational. I is also for intake. So intake is basically what the membership process is called. It's when we take in new members and they'll go through their process and become a member of their respective organization that they're interested in. All right, so J is for jewel. In some instances, organizations will call their founder their jewel, so that's what that means. So K is gonna be for Kappas. They are also in the NPHC. So K is also gonna be for Ks, which is sometimes what people call AKAs. So L is for legacy. A legacy is basically somebody who followed in the footsteps of a family member, typically like a mom, or I think you can do grandmother. I think you can do stepmom as well. And maybe, I don't know about sister, but I'm not a legacy, so I would have to do more research. But a legacy is somebody who's followed in the footsteps of a close family member and became a member of the same organization. So I think they do have a different process as far as like the beginning stages. However, I'm really not too sure. I would have to do more information. I mean, I'll have to do more research. So if you are interested in legacy, I would definitely recommend checking out the website of the organization that you're interested in, asking questions so you can know the right way to go about doing that. Also, there is a such thing as reverse legacy. I just recently found that out. So like a mother can come in as a legacy to a daughter or something of that sort. So I mean, it's kind of cool. I saw that recently at the we do a legacy parade in our chapter meetings occasionally, well, at once a year. So the legacy parade, like this time, I heard that it was a lot of like reverse legacy, so I thought that was kind of cool. So L is also going to be for line/line name. So your line is the group of people that you came in with. So for example, I have 14 people on my line total, so I have 13 other line, you know, so my line was 14 people long. So basically that's just what the term line means, is everybody that came in with you at that time. And then your line name is something that's given to you by your provites. Typically they name you, they can name you some really off the wall stuff. Like, I don't know how some people come up with their line names, but I mean, it is what it is. Your line name is just the name that you're given once you're online, and yeah, that's it. So M is for membership selection, and basically that's like another term for like the intake thing. That's, you know, they have to actually select members that they want to, you know, vote on and things like that. So there's a whole process that we go through, and a part of that process is the membership selection. So if you hear that membership selection phase, is just when they're actually like voting on who they want to pick. And who they select. So M is also for moratorium, which a lot of chapters find themselves on because they had so much going on. So moratorium basically means everything is shut down. You cannot do anything. No intake process, no events, no nothing. You're just done until further notice. So that's just basically when either chapters get in trouble or the block is hot and you just got too much going on. So you a moratorium so you can kind of shut down and administration can get things back to control. So N is for number, and that's basically where you just fall in line. So I'm number 4, so I'm the 4th person on my line, and they either give you your number based off of your height. They can give it to you based off of, you know, your performance throughout the process. I mean, it varies, depends on where you're crossing at. N is also for Neo, which is a shortened version of neophyte. A Neo is the new member of an organization. So your Neo time can either be like a year, a semester, or it can last, I mean, up until there is a new line up under you. And some people, like in my head, for like about, I want to say 3 years, I was like, you know, forever a Neo. And then I started to feel like an old head a little bit. But a Neo is really, in my opinion, like a Neo is kind of like a state of mind. It's like when you're still kind of fresh, you're really excited to be in the organization, and so you're trying to just do a lot. You're doing a lot. Or it's just that you're new. So, I mean, there are multiple levels of Neo, and knowing where you fall at is important. So O is for Omegas. Of course, y'all know that they are also a member of the NPHC. So P is for paraphernalia. Paraphernalia, or Perry as we often refer to it as, is pretty much like the Ivy box, you know? It's like anything that has like pink and green with the AKA or whatever the organization's respective colors are and the letters. So Perry is just basically anything that shows that you are a member of that organization, whether it be a shirt, socks, keychain, lunch kit, like whatever, anything can be Perry. So P is for prophyte, and basically a prophyte is more of a seasoned member in the organization. It doesn't necessarily have to be that they've been there for years or anything like that. However, they are just older than the newest line that's, you know, coming in. They're the ones that typically the Neos will look up to. If you are needing information about how to be a good prophyte, I got a video for you. Go ahead and watch that video real quick. P is for pearl. So kind of like the term jewel, we'll often refer to our founders as pearls. So if we say pearl, that's kind of what we mean. Sometimes in organizations, they'll give the term like pearl, for example. So sometimes if it's a line of like 20 plus, they'll give the person who was the 20 the name Pearl, just to kind of just, you know, pay respects to our founders in that way. So sometimes the numbered person on that line, if they have pearls, it'll be, that person will be Pearl. If they had jewels, that person will be the jewel, you know, so things like that. So Q is gonna be for Qs. The Omegas had 2 terms on this one, because sometimes we refer to them as Qs and sometimes we refer to them as Omegas. But yeah, Q is also for questions. As you can see, I was really trying hard to find words to fit into this. But Q is gonna be also for questions. Questions is something that you guys should ask before you make these major commitments to these organizations and then be unhappy with your decisions. These are things that you should ask beforehand, as opposed to after the fact when it's too late. So make sure you're asking your questions, getting them things in. R is for rituals, and rituals are things that each chapter of each organization has, and we kind of hold them close to us because, I mean, they're sacred. And a lot of times there's like this common misconception that these rituals are like devil worshiping. Like people say the craziest things, but the thing is, our rituals are for us to know. They're not for other people to know. So of course they might not seem like this, that, and next, because you don't even know what we're doing in our rituals. But there are rituals for each organization, and I mean, it is what it is. That's what that stands for. Rituals are sacred. You're not gonna know what it is until you cross, and you shouldn't really search to find out what this person, what this org or that org is doing, because it's really none of your business unless you're a member of that org. So R is also for Rush. Rush is the event that you have to go to in order to become a member of your respective organization. So whether it just be, you know, the informational session that kind of starts off the Rush process, or whatever, but you know, Rush is just that whole thing. R is also for research, which I encourage you all to do. Y'all know that that's one of my biggest things. Like, I research everything. I research before I go on a job interview, I research terms that I don't know. Like, I'm a big researcher. Like, Google is my best friend. So definitely take advantage of the fact that we are so computer savvy. Like, you have access to so much nowadays. So take advantage of that. Do your research. Find out all the information that you need to know about your respective organization before you go to an event and you're just completely like, oh my God, I don't even know why I'm here. I'm here so I don't get fined. Like, do your research so you know what you're walking into. S is for Sigma, and they are a part of the Divine Nine, and that also goes for SG Rho. Sigmas are a fraternity. SG Rho is Sigma Gamma Rho, which is a sorority. S is also for soror, and that is what females typically refer to themselves as, you know, well, not themselves, but they'll refer to another member of the same organization as them, as their soror. So any other AKA is gonna be my soror. Some people say it differently, but I mean, I say soror, so it's what it is. S is also for sans. The term sans is kind of similar to like the term number, in the sense that sans is somebody that crossed at the same time as you. So it don't have to be necessarily like the same organization. It can be any org, but they cross at the same time as you. So anybody that crossed like spring 13 will be my sans technically. S also stands for stepping, and I think that that is a term that a lot of people think all Greeks do. We don't all step. Some of us do, some of us don't. My first real step show was the one that I was in last year. So you don't have to be Greek to step. That's a common misconception, but a lot of Greeks do step. So stepping is, you know, the whole synchronized dance that we do that involves a lot of clapping and stomping and all that good stuff. S is also for strolling or strutting. Pretty much get in line and you all do the same little dance to certain songs and things like that. I guess it really depends on like when you cross. Like, I'll call it strolling. I know some people call it strutting. Like, I went to a stroll practice recently, and some people call it strutting, some people call it strolling. It's the same thing. The term is pretty much interchangeable, and you can do pretty strut strolls, you can do aggressive strut strolls, you can do repetitive strut strolls. I mean, the options are endless. It's just pretty much you do what you want to do, you do stuff that people can do, and you will get tired, but you still try to make it cute. So I mean, strutting, strolling is fun. I like that. I think that's one of my favorite parts about it. Just, you know, showing off my little moves and stuff like that, you know, like just I like that part. So T is gonna be for tail. Tail is the person at the end of the line. That's the last person at the line. Typically the tail is the tallest, but again, it depends on how the pro fights decided to divide the line up. The tail hold it down, so sometimes it's not always just the tallest person. It's sometimes the person that they feel like is the strongest to hold down the line. So yeah, that's what the tail is, or that's who the tail is. So U is for unaffiliated, and that means that you are not affiliated with the organization. So sometimes we'll have events where it's people that are like speaking, and it'll be somebody that's like not necessarily in the organization, but they are at the event. They're unaffiliated with the organization, and that's basically what that term means. So it's really not too much thought into it. So for V, W, and X, like I really tried to find words, but I couldn't find anything to go with those. So we're gonna skip those words. I mean, it's the Greek alphabet at the end of the day, and this is my alphabet at the end of the day, so I don't have words for them, so we're gonna skip them, okay? So Y is for yard. So yard is basically like where everybody kind of just gets together. Most campuses will have like a yard, and that's basically where people just, you know, get out and they, you know, stroll, they'll chill, like all that good stuff. It's just a position or a place on campus where Greeks typically hang out and, I mean, just do their thing. Normally it's like a grassy area, or it can just be like, it's like a courtyard. So basically just wherever they, you know, get together and congregate, that's the yard. Every campus should have something similar. They might not, like, I mean, it depends on the campus, but that's what yard refers to. So the last letter of my alphabet is Z. That's gonna be for Zeta, and this or I got. Yeah, I know this video was way longer than I expected it to be, but I hope that helped with understanding some of these terms. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.